For the past couple weeks now, I've been kind of wanting to do this. I don't really know how to start it. So I have a bit of a rough outline, and I kind of just want to follow that. I have been grieving lately due to a recent loss. And if I'm being honest, I'm not really sure if I'm doing it the right way. You know, some days I wake up feeling okay. And when I feel okay, a part of me feels guilty for feeling that way. Like should I be feeling like this? Am I moving on too fast? Then there are other days where, it's really, really hard. That weight that I feel can sometimes be unbearable, and I think I project it onto other parts of my life while not being aware of it. And the more I kind of reflect on it, I think that everything that I'm experiencing is more than okay. And that's really because grief in itself isn't necessarily a straight line. There isn't one path that each person follows. We all have our own unique feelings and thoughts and ways of expression. And so, even though I feel this way, I try to reel it in and make sure that I'm giving myself grace. So, that's kind of the reason why I'm recording this now. Is one, I think it is just helping me get get that out there. But also, I hope that if there are people out there experiencing similar things, that maybe this can reassure them that they're not alone. They are completely normal in how they're feeling, and that if you're like me and can be very hard on yourself, I think that you should also give yourself some grace. Grief, uh, it's not really a checklist. You don't have to tick the boxes in a certain order. I've heard a lot of my family members kind of in our conversations talk about, oh well, I've gone through three of the five stages. I've gone through the denial and the anger, and now I'm in the bargaining, or I'm in the depression phase. Some people, you know the acceptance phase, but we don't really go through these in order. I'd argue that we can jump back and forth, and on occasion we can kind of feel them all at once. And so, however you're grieving, whether you're crying every day or hardly at all, I think it's valid because it isn't a process that needs to kind of tick boxes. There's no normal way to do it, and it's only your way of doing it. I think one of the hardest parts of grief is that life keeps going, and that means that sometimes you'll feel happy. Um, and there's something, like I said, that I just remind myself, like, just because I'm happy doesn't mean that I'm forgetting. It doesn't mean that I loved them any less. It just means that I'm human. I can be very hard on myself, and I just have to remind myself what what would they want? Me to needlessly suffer and be hard on myself, or for me to be happy and strive to be the best version of myself? And I would argue it's the latter. And yeah, there's no reason to make yourself miserable. You should be focused on growing and just laughing and loving life to the best of your ability. because of how finite life is, how much time we realize that we don't have. And, grief may never go away. Something that I've learned is that it may not. With that though, we may learn how to carry it differently. It becomes a part of us, but it doesn't have to weigh us down. Maybe grief isn't about moving on, but moving forward with them, still with us, still in our hearts. We're carrying a piece of them with us through our own life. And yeah, you know, it really sucks. And it's easier said than done. That is for sure. It really is easier said than done. But if you're grieving and you don't think you're doing it right the way I feel, you are doing it right. And if you feel okay one day and the next normal, if you laugh, if you cry, if you are, feeling guilty or feeling good, it just means, you loved deeply, and love, it doesn't disappear, it doesn't fade away. And you kind of have that privilege of truly loving someone for, you know, I, I'm sorry, I'm at a loss of words, but you get that, like that's how you love them, going through what you're experiencing right now, and you don't have to carry that grief like a burden. It's just a reminder that that love is there, and it's never going to leave you. And take your time, be kind to yourself, and remember that you're not alone. I lost my grandmother in November 2024. It was a whirlwind of emotions and thoughts and what ifs, and it still is. And I just think how grateful, we used to tell each other, we used to ask, have I ever told you how lucky I am? Have I ever told you how lucky I am to have you as a grandson? Have I ever told you how lucky I am to have you as a grandmother? I was very lucky. And for those of you watching this and maybe feeling the way that I feel, I would consider you very lucky as well, even though it may not feel like it right now. I am recording this on a different day. Just a little outro. I just wanted to say thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I hope it helps. And this took more time than I thought it would. So if you liked it, just let me know. I'd appreciate feedback as well. So thank you so much for watching.